Hey, hi there. This is Murli Sundaram, your happiness coach, and in this video, I'm going to share with you my top 10 key learnings of this one decade of my life. That is from 2011 to 2020, and this video is my New Year message for 2021. Maybe more than it's not a new year message, a new decade message itself, because I believe it's not 2021 new year, it's the birth of a new decade itself. So every 10 year I have witnessed in my life completely changing. Okay, I always remember, I always keep on observing how every decade is changing. Have you observed that in your life? And when I was doing a self reflection of not just 2020 but over the whole decade, I ended up in writing a lot of self-reflection, but top 10 was strikingly very visible. And let me share with you one by one. So it's going to be a little long video. I would strongly suggest if you have the patience, go through the whole video, or if you want to take a pause once in a while, come back and watch all the top 10, because these are my deep 10 lessons I have learned in my life in the last one decade. Number one, okay, now there is not number one, number two, there is no any random order. It's a random order, it's not an order of priority or nothing like that. One thing I have realized in this last 10 years is I need to learn to trust the journey of my life. Okay, even if I don't understand it, I just have to trust the journey of my life, because sometimes life goes, ups and down, and suddenly twist and turn, everything happens. Sometimes we don't even understand why this challenge is happening in our life. Why are we pushed into this particular pressure? But in the last 10 years, I have learned, maybe I have practiced it again and again, that it's just the flow. We just have to understand and trust the journey, and the life will take you in the right direction. And my life is, when I look back, my life itself is a testimonial for me. The way in which I started my life in 2010, end of 2010, and in the last 10 years, suddenly nowhere, suddenly my whole life has gone to the next level of helping the whole global scenario itself. So when we surrender to the life, when we surrender to the journey of life, a lot of things happens just like that. So that's one of the biggest learning I realized in my life in the last 10 years. Second interesting thing is, sometimes what you never expected happens. Okay, probably that is what you actually needed in my life. I was busy doing my own coaching and training, and from nowhere, okay, something called BNI popped up in my life, which is an entrepreneurs forum. It's a global forum, and I was just thinking, why am I getting distracted into this? Should I, I was literally saying no to that, but suddenly it was coming back again and again and again to my life, and that I never wanted or expected. But later I realized, wow, that is one of the biggest blessings in my life of attracting BNI in my life. Well, because I never expected that, but suddenly that became a biggest boon, because today I'm not only the executive director for BNI Chennai, but across the whole country. I'm the head of training for BNI India, and now the global master trainer for the whole BNI global world itself, which I never expected, but that's what actually I needed, so that I can share the happiness to the whole world. So, second lesson in my life is sometimes what you never wanted or expected turns out to be what we need actually. Okay, that's the second lesson I realized in this 10 years. Okay, and the third one is, I did a lot of programs, created a lot of products, okay, did varieties of businesses, and I was forcing myself to get a result in the beginning part of this decade. But later I realized, never force anything. Do your best and let it be. Okay, because if it is, because I personally believe, if it is meant to be, it will be. If it's meant to be for you, it will be for you always. So nowadays I stopped forcing myself on anything. No big plans, don't put myself into too big pressure and all, because initially that's what I was living. I can still remember during my own good old days in the sales field, where I had to put the template and Excel sheet and force myself, get that result and number to happen. But later I realized, there's no point in forcing things onto us. Okay, if it's up to, if it's meant to be, it will be. Okay, that's an amazing lesson I learned in this 10 years. And the fourth one, is something which I feel, whenever I feel upset or irritated or frustrated, one technique I have been practicing for a long, That's really an amazing learning for this decade. Okay, always I look back and ask myself, Murli, where you were 10 years before and where you are now. Be happy for where you have reached in your life instead of always looking forward that, oh my God, I missed to achieve all these things. Always it's good to measure your gains in your life and not the gap. Okay, gap is something which you wanted to achieve, which you have not achieved. Okay, that will always make you little upset, little worried. But when we start measuring our gains, that means where you were 10 years before and where you are right now. That's something which right from this young age, I keep on doing that, because I started my life in a 100 square feet house, and today I'm living in a big bungalow. So when I look back, I always see from where you were and where you are right now. That's an amazing lesson I personally love to practice in my life. Always measure your gains, not the gap, because when you measure your gains, you always be happier. That's the lesson number 4. Lesson number 5. Yes, never waste time in our life. Whether you are a president of the country or you are a pauper of a country, the same 24 hours is given to all of us. And the last 10 years, I have been working every single day for 14 to 15 hours every single day without wasting even 1 second or 1 minute of my life. Because one deep lesson went deeper inside my head, that rich people spend money to save time, whereas poor people spend a lot of time to save money. Remember, money can be earned, but time cannot be earned in our life, because it's the same 24 hours to everyone in the world. So one deep lesson I have personally learned and I practice in my life is never waste time. I don't waste time for anything. Everything, there has to be connected to what you're doing right now. Even chit chatting or gossiping, I don't have time for all these things, because I have a larger purpose to serve the whole world, and that purpose pushes me to do various things. And because I didn't waste time, I am super thankful that I learned a lot in the last 10 years. I would have studied thousands and thousands of books and journals and research papers, studied a lot of successful people, which changed my whole mindset itself. So never waste time is one lesson, and I will continue that particular lesson for my next decade also. And the sixth and the most important lesson is, this is something which though it was theoretically known, everyone knows, but practically I experienced it when my wife had to go through the cancer treatment. The chemotherapy was really, really painful. But every day, me and my wife were telling one thing: this too shall pass. This too shall pass, which was an amazing lesson, which gave me a practical insight on this word. This too shall pass. Many people may understand it theoretically, but practically, when you go through it, you will understand. So, just like that, myself and my wife were able to pass through the whole phase of the whole cancer treatment, the chemotherapy and the radiation and the surgery, in a very smooth way, without that affecting the psychology and the emotions of us. So, this too shall pass is a very powerful learning which can be applicable during illness, emotional crisis, financial crisis in our life. That's an amazing lesson I learned, and I thank this decade for that learning. Okay, and the seventh point is, I've been teaching happiness. I've been teaching, bringing happiness and health and prosperity for many people for last 2 decades or so. Though, during this decade, I was, a lot of carrots have been shown to my eyes and say that, okay, would you like to do that? Would you like to do this? How do you make more money? But realize that I should just keep going, keep doing what I really love doing in my life until I enjoy doing it. And the more and more I do what I love to do in my life is going very smooth. Okay, so if you are someone who is thinking whether should I do, what am I doing, ask yourself, are you loving what you're doing? Are you really enjoying what you're doing? Then keep going, because you are doing it for bringing happiness to various people in the world. It's not about you more anymore, it's all about the whole universe in front of you. So keep going, keep doing what you love. Okay, and the most important lesson I learned, or an amazing book I learned this year, which actually changed my whole perspective, is a book called Company of One by Paul Gervais, who beautifully said, and I started applying in my life, that don't try to chase money and build a big company. Once you achieve one turnover, then keep on increasing and start building one company to another company and become a serial entrepreneur. He beautifully said, fix your lifestyle first. What kind of lifestyle you need in your mind? Okay, fix that first. Once you are very clear on your lifestyle, build a profitable business around it. Okay, thereby you can live that particular lifestyle that you really want to live and enjoy the freedom of time, the independence that money gives you. So this is an amazing lesson I learned in this decade, and I started applying in my life, which actually, you know what, making money at the same time enjoying that money, enjoying that, the freedom and the resources that money provides you, and also the independence that you get, it's priceless. Okay, so one amazing lesson this decade taught me is fix your lifestyle first. What kind of home to live, what kind of gadgets you're going to use, what kind of car, what kind of lifestyle you want to live. Fix everything first, put it in writing, and build a profitable business so that that lifestyle can be achieved. Okay, so that's an amazing lesson I got. And during this one decade, I saw a lot of people, even younger than me, okay, suddenly taking over in my industry. Okay, and sometimes the egoistic mind will come and poke you, right? Hey, how come they are making more money than you? What happened to you? Why are you not making money? The negative voice, the inner voice comes and tells you, and I'm super thankful for my awareness, which popped up immediately. And you know what my awareness taught me? Hey, every human being in the world is living their life based on their karmas, based on their karmic tendency. Everyone are living or dissolving their karmic tendencies. Okay, your karma tendencies are different than the other person, so they have to go through that so that they can dissolve their karma, and you have to go through yours to dissolve your karmas in our life. Remember, everyone around us, inside, even in our family, okay, if you see someone struggling and suffering, remember, they are going through their karmas. Allow them to go through, don't interfere in the whole process. Okay, that's a very deep lesson I learned. And one last lesson, okay, which I will always continue to carry for the next decade also, is slowing myself down. The whole world is going faster, the whole world drives us faster. Okay, so when you start living a fast life, we will miss out on the good life, right? Am I right in saying? So I started slowing down the number of breaths I breathe in every single minute. And the more and more I slow down the number of breaths per minute, okay, that means one inhale and one exhale is one breath. The deeper the breath and the number of breaths is very slow and low, I found out I'm actually able to process, my mind processing speed becomes faster. Ability to implement certain things in my life was very fast. So one amazing lesson I learned in this journey is, when I slow down, I was actually able to go faster in my life. Okay, so then I'm actually going to practice this little more deeper on every aspect of my life when I go forward into the next decade. So these are all some deep lessons I learned in the last 10 years. Okay, year 2011 to 2020. Do you have a habit of doing a self reflection for a decade? If you have done it, go ahead, comment below this video, and I will be very happy to read your comments. And any of my learning makes sense to you, you can mention that also below the comment. And if you think that this video is worth sharing, go ahead and share with your family and friends so that they also can get benefited. Thanks for watching this video. My name is Murli Sundaram, popularly known as the Happiness Coach. Bye bye.